Are we double living it? Can we even do this? Is this legal? No notice yet, Bill? No notice yet? Good morning. Are we live though? Oh, we're here. Good morning, Herbie. Alright. I think we're here. I know we got people here. Hit the like button on Pops' thing. And hit the like button over here. It's really weird doing this double screening. Alright, Herbie. We're live on 2 chans here. Boom. Boom. But Lord of Vaughn. Dude, we're gonna get some hugging going on here. We are definitely getting some hugging here. What channel am I supposed to be? Nerd. You can be on T. Let's go with the Pops' channel. I'm over here. Wherever you want to be. It doesn't matter. No, I do need a production team now, Herbie. I need what we're doing. Okay, so we're having fun right now. What should I do? Should I end the Brock screen channel? Should I do that? What should I do? Should I stay here with the Pops channel? It's really awkward. I don't know what to do. Which one should I keep? Good morning, Shy. You're on point, Derek. You're on, because we can't be on both, can we? We have to, like, switch, right? Don't we have to switch? Or what if I just, like, alright, how about this? If you're on Pops' channel and you want to figure out what my channel is, Herbie, spam it. Let's go. It's at T _ good morning, Nerdy. Keep it going up. Keep it going. Alright, we'll keep going. We'll keep it going, Herbie. It's Derek Anderson. Speaking, we haven't dibble dabbled. I don't know if I've dibble dabbled over here on my. We're gonna do this over on here as the very first dibble dabble of what is it, Herbie? What are we at? T _ with _ crew, or is it T and crew? What are we at? Nerdy says I'll mute one. Mute this one. Mute this one. I just got my other phone. Classic. Hey, Carol. Alright, Classic. Good morning, Niffer. Niffer, we're double streaming here. We're double living. We're going crazy here. We're going wackadoo what around here. Alright, makeup and wardrobe. I am really cute this morning. Alright. Laura says good morning and hi over here. See, I'm gonna have to give like 7 different hugs now. Alright, because I have no idea where people are. I don't know, because I'm talking to you over here, and I'm talking to you over here, and then we're talking to people over here and answering questions and asking things over, like, woo! We're going crazy wild. We're going crazy wild. Alright, it's T and crew. T _ and _ crew. Capital T _ and it's at, if you type, hi guys, if you search YouTube for me over here, it's at TEA _ and AND. Is it and? Is it and? _ crew. Capital C crew, I think. Good morning, friends. Good morning, friends. We're just having a lot of fun this morning. Let's dibble dabble this up real quick, shall we? Let's dibble dabble up this morning. Good morning, Nerdy. Good morning, Streety. We'll read more from Alan Watts. I gotta get the Alan Watts the book. I gotta get his book, The Book. It's a great book. I started reading that book once. Alright, it's easier looking up as B lobster. So just look up B lobster. The WAS says just look up B lobster. Is that right? Just put B_lobster. Good morning, friends. Good morning, Cleany. Good morning, Cleany. The WAS says just look up B lobster, and then you'll find me as well. And we'll be over here. And then what we're doing is we're trying to build up people over on this channel, and we're just having fun. Really, we got double channels going on. We're just having like crazy, wild, goofy times here. All right, I'm gonna shut this down a little bit because hi. But who knows? We're just having crazy, wild, fun times, Streety. And it's taken me forever to take this dibble dabble, but here we go. And I'm gonna look right at. I'm gonna do this for this channel. You have no idea how crazy weird it is for me to do this right now. You guys are like watching something. Alright, let's do this with my sexy leg. Oh man, look at that sexy leg. That's a dibble. T with? Is it? No, it's T. I changed the name. I changed the name. It was T with crew, T and crew. I can never remember. Herbie, what is it? T and crew. Thank you. I changed the name because we won. We did a little Instagram poll. If you're trying to follow us on Instagram, Herbie will show you where to find us on Instagram. We did an Instagram poll and such. But alright. So we got dibble. We still got dabble and dooble to go. Here comes the dabble. Bill, it was one of those Instagram polls, like, and then you know how when you start talking after you take a hit, and the hit's just like, you're not gonna talk for a while. Here comes the double. What are we doing on a double double dabble? Alright, my moderators, Herbie and Derek Anderson over here are the moderators for this. And you're also the moderators for over here. You don't have to worry about moderating over on my channel. I just have you there because I like seeing your names in the blue. Alright? So on my channel, if people heckle me, bring it. You know what I mean? I'll say the word. Like, bring it. On here, if you heckle me, what are you doing? Knock it off. Go live a better life. On here, we're gonna get dirty. Let's get to it. Over here though, better. I'm a better person, and we're gonna try and live good, decent lives. Here, not so much. Here, I'll take you down. Over here, you probably won't hear, oh yeah? Over here, oh yeah? You know what I'm saying? We've got different sides of things, so that's all. That's where I think things are going to happen. I think that's how everything's going to go. Alright, now. Here's where I think we can generate some activity. Following that link, we're going to do a Q&A. And I'm going to answer questions that are asked over here on here. What else are on here? but mostly for here. I'll look here to answer the questions asked over here. And we'll do that. So if you're asking me questions and it's not over here, I don't know what you're doing. I have no idea what you're asking me. Like nothing, alright? So, and it behooves Herbie to remember it, because obviously I can't. To tell you guys. So it's on Herbie and maybe Derek. I don't know. It's on anybody that remembers it. Alright, so we've got, hey, I have several out-of-service phones that I can Wi-Fi on YouTube, Instagram, and Threads. So my old accounts get action and my new phone is not affiliated. Well, thank you, Classic. Here's the thing, is YouTube is acting up. And so when YouTube acts up, you need to be able to back up, you know what I mean? And you need to be, like, we have an important service going on here with this, we've got 26,000 people that are subscribed to this thing, and we have, 1,000 views daily on our videos, you know what I'm saying? So, we're worried about it, Also, not a question, Classic. Already breaking the rules. Already breaking the rules, Classic. Alright? Is Nerdy being funny over here and I'm not... Hold on, Nerd. Last time I had jury duty, I showed them the Spider-Man suit under my shirt and told them I have a strong sense of justice. That was it. One second, Nerdy. 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me give you a topic. Alright, I'm back. I don't know where everything... I did something. I don't know where things are. 1 second, and I'll be right back again. Alright. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me give you a topic. Where in the heck did I put all of that? That's not the topic. That's not the topic. That's not the topic. That's a silly topic. Okay. I bought something, and I was going to do something, and now I can't find that to do something with. I have no idea where the thing is that I bought. What in the heck happened? Where is everything? I bought... Alright, folks. I'm having a moment here. Talk amongst yourselves one more time. What the heck happened? No. Where is everything? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. Alright, so I bought, oh, I know where it is. I know where everything is. I would have to move both cameras in order to find, because what let me show you. Everything I have is right there, right there. And it's in the thing that, Jesus Christ, in Australia. No, friend. No, friend. No. The things that I have are in the thing that the phones are sitting on top of. Alright. Yeah. The waz being funny over here. Okay. Well, thank you, Classic. This is my bedroom. So what is, hold on. Hager, is that Higgs? Higgs. It's the T and at T underscore and underscore crew. Or if you look up B Lobster, I think is another way of doing that. And I think I think we can do that. Good morning. I don't know why we're all here. I'm glad you guys are like messing around and hanging out with each other. So that's why we're here. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we're not here to give you a good show. No, I thought about that the other day, and I'm really good at. I'm not hyping myself or anything, but like I can turn on. Yeah. Shut up, Jesus Christ, from Australia. But I mean, like, you know how like some people can just like activate, boop, like a light bulb. You know what I mean? Good morning to Captain Obvious, by the way. Catzilla, B Lobster, and Pop Shrooms are both live on, right? Boom. So, anyhow, King Metro. Good morning, King. Good morning, friends. Good morning. We got kind of a crazy, I don't know, a wackadoo show going on this morning. Let me show you something. Do you guys remember the irises, the flowers that I cut down? Do you guys remember that thing I showed you? Hold on. So remember, I filled this up with the flowers that I cut down out in the garden out back so that we could start a new garden area. I figured, just best to clear out the flowers. And so I cut them all down and I put them all in here and I filled it with water, and it was really pretty, and it was really dark purple water. And I was like, let's clear some of that water out, and I saved some of the water. I'm like, alright, neat. Don't get ahead of me, Captain Obvious. Don't get ahead of me. Okay? Don't get ahead of me. And so I looked up the flowers, and they were irises. I'm like, oh, alright, they're irises. And I felt a little bad after that, because I was like, oh man, I cut down irises. Who's ever had an iris? Other than your eye. You know what I mean? Let me put this back. And so, because they were beautiful iris flowers, I figured, let's have a little fun. Let's just play around. Let's just save some of the water. Let me show over here. Let's just save some of the water that comes out of there. So I got super dark purple flower water. No, Jesus Christ, that's gross. There's 91 proof isopropyl running around in here as well. Mostly it's all evaporated out, but like, no. Maybe if there was like, I would do on a dare of like, maybe a weird little drip. Anyhow, alright? So what I did is I saved the goo-goo juice, right? And I was like, alright, that's cool. And then, because I was outside and like that little thing has a spigot like off the side here, what had happened is during the saving of it, some of the juice kind of like spewed out. Shut up, Jesus Christ, in Australia. Alright, it kind of like, you know what I mean, it dripped out. Shut up, Jesus Christ. Alright, and so it hit the ground at the cement, and it kind of like did a little stain on the cement, and I was like, ah, crap! Did I just permanently stain the cement with a stupid idea? No, I didn't. I didn't. Let me start a new story that's related to this story. Let me start a new one. It's alright. So there's a lot of neat little places around here that you can walk to. There's a liquor store that you can walk to, or that we drive to, that sells everything. You know, it's got just about everything you need, including white T-shirts. And so I bought a white T-shirt because I have been looking up that you can dye things with iris dye. Like there's a color fastness to iris dye, to iris plant dye. Like, all right, so I'm not just like throwing stain on a shirt and then like there's gonna be like a little loop-de-loo, like little bloop left or whatever. All right, so not actually following any rules of tie-dye. We're over here. What's going on, folks? Not actually following the rules of tie-dye, I did my own tie-dye using the plant dye from the irises that I cut from the garden that we have, that apparently the previous owner had dedicated to a pet. We'll say it like that. That's all I can say. I think Pops might have mentioned it, but I think a previous owner had dedicated the garden to a pet. You know what I mean? And so I found that out after I cut down the irises. So I'm like, I really need to worry about these irises now. So, here we go. Boom. So now we got kind of a spiral design, if I did it right, and it will continue to lighten up. This is my second application of dye. Okay, it's my second application. Because the first one, I think I accidentally washed out some of the dye instead of just letting it sit. So this will continue to dry up, and I love this. This is great. It's my Irish shirt. So I made a tie dye. That's my very first tie dye. That's my very first. Thanks, exception. Hold on. Let me scroll so I can see what you guys are saying. Thank you, eggs. Awesome shirt. Thank you. How do you fix the dye so it won't leach out? Alright, so, things I learned. Real quick. Thank you for joining my TED Talk on tie-dye. My name is B. Lobster. Thank you over here, 5280 on my channel. Thank you. Here's my TED Talk for tie-dye. First off, do something else. Secondly, you're gonna wanna like do this outside. I did half of it inside with pure anxiety on my back of like, don't spill anything, okay? Like, not a little. You know what I have is yeah, I'll show it on Pops here. Boop a doo doo doo. Is I have my little science station right there. Yes, that's a pickle. So I got like a little science station there that I've been trying to play with the plant goo goo and turn it into like usable stuff. Go really old school, using uric acid, Glassic says. What I did is they say you can use alum powder or aluminum, and if you put like even just like strips of aluminum foil in your dye, then it'll slowly dissolve enough of it to create kind of like a metallic alum. And then what the alum will do is that'll help like turn your fabric into something that'll hold on to dye. That's the easiest way I can say it. There's other tie-dye powders that you can use that have the same concept of adding a different substance to your shirt in order to make it more viable. And it's all based on like whether or not it's a silk shirt or a cotton shirt or a cotton polyester blend. So your best, your top 3 fabrics for tie-dyeing are probably silk, cotton, and cotton polyester. 20%. 20%. No more. No more. Or else the polyester is going to be like, get this tie out of here. You know what I mean? To prep your, you don't really need to prep silk. Silk is like super receptive to everything. Obviously. If you've ever gotten like a silk pillow wet, Jesus Christ, in Australia, you know this one. If you've ever gotten a silk pillow wet, you know it never. Alright, talk amongst yourselves. Let me give you a topic. What? Alright, part 2 of it is what I did is I bought white vinegar. And you can soak your fabric in a white vinegar soak or whatnot, and it'll be just as viable for it's like an all natural. Now the problem is your room's gonna smell like vinegar after trying to dry your shirt out for a couple hours. So it smells like vinegar. It smells like vinegar in here. Like we got pickle. We got a pickle already. We got vinegar. Like I'm pretty much like you could sell me on a countertop in Kentucky. Is really what's going on here. All right, you can sell everything in this room on a countertop in Kentucky. That's how much vinegar is going on around here. So ask Sandman. He knows. He's in Tennessee. That's why he's not in Kentucky. All right, so I'm just saying. Here we go. Let's take another drink. The smell. I'm not saying that out loud. Alright, we're not doing that. Okay. Again, no questions. Nobody wanted to ask me a question over here. Nobody wanted to go over to B Lobster with the or T and crew and ask me any questions, huh? You just want to tie-dye symposium. So then, because it was in my head and I couldn't go to bed, I did a second application of dye to the shirt, and I realized that like I completely diluted all of my dye from the first dye, and so like I don't know. Basically, I'm gonna start stealing flowers, and I think I'm probably gonna catch a charge. So if you've got orchids in your backyard, not for long. I'm just warning you, okay? If you have pansies, orchids, or irises in your backyard, not for long, okay? I'm just saying, I got the bug, alright? And that bug, I ain't no ladybug about to land on your flowers, alright? Alright? Just saying, I'm on the hunt. I'm on the prowl. Okay? Now I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. That's what I'll do. It's like I'm talking to like the you know, like good morning to Carnivorous, by the way. Hey Carnivorous. Over here on the other channel here. We're double channeling it here. Double channel. Alright. That was nice. That was a good moment there. Okay, we're gonna get through. We're gonna go. I don't have any other book right now other than I have a book on poker tells, and I have a book on how to disguise if you've got pocket jacks, and you're in the second position. We could talk about that. I don't really have any other kind of book available to read though, just yet, because I don't want to go. We've already discussed how I don't want to. I really don't want to learn any more about how people are twisting words around in order to make us pay taxes. Okay? I don't care. I don't care anymore. Like, I think we've pretty much gotten to the birth of America, and I think we're alright. Pardon me, I'm gonna burp. The burp of America, if you will. Alright, we don't... So I think we're alright with learning about... We're learning about that. I think we've sufficiently filled our New Year's resolution. I think we did that. I think we did that successfully, sufficiently of fulfilling our New Year's resolution of knowing more. We said no, didn't we? We said no politics, ever. No. We said no. And we got to know politics a little bit more. Didn't we? Felt good in our brains. Felt good in our hearts to realize that we're becoming fuller in our education, or at least listening to me for another half hour and talk about crap that I may or may not actually understand. Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to stay up late. Alright, let's get to Become What You Are. I love this book. It's a great book. I need the book Alan wants. There's no bookstores around here. There's nothing locally bookstory about around here. Also, before this, I want to ask you a question. Is it okay to walk into a furniture store and not buy something? Because there's two little rinky-dink furniture stores around here that I really want to walk into, but I don't want to buy anything. Is it cool if I walk in and don't buy anything? Can I be like, do I have to tell them that I'm just looking? I hate walking into a place where it's like I'm being determined whether or not I'm going to be a sale or not. You know, just leave me alone. It's all coming back. You know the Gap Run? Who hasn't done the Gap? If you haven't done the Gap Run, you weren't alive in the 90s. Mike Barable says, yes, it's absolutely okay. Many times, window shopping is okay. Just be friendly, Glassic says. No, I yell at them and I say, do your job somewhere else. And then I realize that we're in the same room. No, I yell really loud and I make a scene. And I go, how dare you expect me to have money? You know? I yell. I go, I don't need your expectations. Okay, I yell. Alright, I tell people, how dare you provide a service? You okay? I get really mean about it too. I go, ha ha, you're here for 8 hours. Ha ha, I can leave. And then I leave. And I get really mean. Okay, I go, ha ha, you have to respond to the bell on the door that I just ding 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 ding. And then I realize that by their responding, I respond, and I'm ha ha. Maybe I'm the jerk. Maybe it's me. Is it me? I don't know if it's me. Am I the jerk? I might be the jerk. I don't know. I should probably stop being mean, you know, and be like, hey guys, I hear you stay here for like 8 hours of a day. You guys got a room? Can I hang out for 8 hours? You know what I mean? Like, I could do that. No problem. Dude, if I worked at a place like that, you know what you wouldn't have to worry about? The Gap Run with me. Alright, what is the Gap Run? What is the Gap Run? Let's go with... Doo-doo. Let's do that. And the Gap Run The gap run is if you start at the start of the Gap store. And I mean like the Gap store in the mall. And I mean like maybe a strip mall if you want. I'm not sure. Maybe a strip mall if you want. But like from the beginning of the Gap store, if you can make it all the way to the end of the Gap, to the back of the Gap. Someone asked me why my head shakes like this. I swear to God, people are really filled with like some weird desire to say dumb stuff. And it's fun. Why is your head shaped like that? Like, isn't it, you look kind of like don't you look like a knuckle? I think your head looks like a knuckle. Alright, so I'm making the Gap run. And the Gap run, so if you can make it from the beginning of the store to the end of the store without a Gap associate saying, "Can I help you?" You have made the Gap run. Sometimes you take that personal. And it's like every time I walk into a store, I go, well, we have like a better used furniture store, so can I make a used furniture run? You know what I mean? And you can't. Not anymore. Mostly because people think you're stealing from them, and I don't do that. First off, look at me. I am not very easily, I can't. You're gonna know. You're gonna know. Like, look at me just holding a book. You're gonna know. I think he paid for that book. You know? Like, there's probably, I'm just saying, like, I'm not a ninja. Okay? These hands, not made for lifting things out of people's pockets. Okay? Strip mall. Alright, so let's get back to the book. Let's get to the book. I think I've pretty much killed enough time. Let's learn about Tao and Wu Wei. Mike Barabell says, I know, man. I'm reading you over here. I got you, Mike. I know. And they're getting it, and I'm giving it. That's all. Why is Mike? You know what I'm saying? I get it. And thank you, Mike. High five to you. Alright, so let's learn about Tao and the Wu Wei. Thanks for being here on the double channels here. If you're interested as to why the hell I'm looking over here, it's because I got a double channel going on here and seeing if it works. Okay? We're seeing how it works, seeing what we can do. Alright, making sure things are going okay. Alright? If you want to see the address of that channel, no, I know it's working, Carnivorous. I know it's working, thank you. But we're, maintaining them and trying to, like, draw a crop. So let's go Tao and the Wu Wei. Woo! Way. From Alan Watts' Become What You Are book. The essence of Lao Tzu's philosophy is the difficult art of getting out of one's own way, of learning how to act without forcing conclusions, of living in skillful harmony with the processes of nature instead of trying to push them around. For Lao Tzu's Taoism is the philosophical equivalent of Jiu-Jitsu, or Judo, which means the way of gentleness. Its basis is the principle of Tao, which may be translated the way of nature. But in the Chinese language, the word which we render as nature has a special meaning not found in its English equivalent. Translated literally, it means self-so, self-so. For to the Chinese, nature is what works and moves by itself, without having to be shoved about, wound up, or controlled by conscious effort. So I did an unnatural response, Mike Barabell, apparently. Your heart beats self-so. And if you would give it half a chance, your mind can function self-so. Though most of us are much too afraid of ourselves to try the experiment. I don't even have to read anymore. I'm going to. But consider that. That blows my mind. It's the fact that your heart functions without you knowing. The breathing is a little bit of a different thing. Like you breathe on your own and you breathe without thinking, but then you can control your breathing. But I don't know. You can maybe like calm your heart. Like they've tried biorhythmic testing and such, and it's all hoop-de-hoop. It's just about like calming your brain down and like trying not to get too distracted and like giving your heart, like giving your brain some reason like calm things down. Like you personally cannot go from 180 beats a minute all the way down to 90. You can't just be like, boom, down. No, what you can do is you can stop running. Okay, number one, that'll help. And stop breathing really hard. All right, that'll calm the hell down, and that'll calm you down. That's how you calm down. You can't do a flip trigger. All right, it's wackadoo. All right, I hate saying that. All right. Other than this, Lao Tzu didn't actually say very much more about the meaning of Tao. See, that's it. You don't even have to worry. Your heart beats on its own. Why can't you? What? Who am I looking at? I know I gotta tell that to someone. Your heart beats on its own. Why can't you? I don't know. The way of nature, the way of happening, self-so, or if you like, the very process of life was something which he was much too wise to define. For to try to say anything definite about the Tao is like trying to eat your mouth. You ever eat your mouth? No, you haven't. You can't get outside to chew it. To put it the other way around, anything you can chew is not your mouth. So, too, anything you can define or imagine, anything you can understand or desire is not the Tao. Son of a... We can't know it. We can't feel or sense it for the very simple reason that it's the whole substance of knowing, feeling, and sensing, of living and existing. Son of a... I thought it was going to be easy. It's too close to be seen, too obvious to be noticed or understood. And if I may say something which sounds utterly ridiculous, it's more us than we are ourselves. It's more you than you. More I than me. Putting it more clearly, perhaps, it's the you that grows your nervous system, rather than the you that uses the nerves to decide, think, and act. That will do for the moment, even though not quite right. If I try to make it clearer, it will just get more and more complicated. Yeah, thanks, Alan. Now, I believe that almost all human beings make some sort of a distinction between the self that wills and acts and the subconscious self that manages our hearts and glands and nerves. Such words as self-control and self-consciousness suggest this division of our being into two parts, knower and known, thinker and thoughts. To the degree that we feel this division, we are always trying to control and understand and dominate our subconscious self with our conscious and willful self. I think I see where he's getting here. But in Lao Tzu's philosophy, this is quite literally to be all balled up, to be in a desperate and utterly frustrating condition of self-strangulation, falling over one's own feet and perpetually getting in one's own way, which is, of course, not Tao, the way of nature. This is why our principal problem in life is ourselves, why we are so tormented with anxiety about self-preservation and self-control, why we are so mixed up that we have to make laws to regulate our behavior, employ police to keep ourselves in order, and equip armies with explosives to prevent us from blowing ourselves up. In the more intimate sphere of personal life, the problem is the pain of trying to avoid suffering and the fear of trying not to be afraid. Obviously, anyone who realizes the enormity and absurdity of this predicament wants to get out of it, wants to get unballed up, to get back to the uninvolved sanity of the Tao. But this is so much more easily done than said that it's very difficult indeed. For, according to Lao Tzu, the way back or forward to harmony with the Tao is, in the profundest and most radical sense, to do nothing at all. But I said that this was so much more easily done than said because the moment we begin to talk or think about it, it becomes immensely difficult to understand, to clear from innumerable misinterpretations. In the Chinese language, this special kind of doing nothing is called wu wei. Literally, non-doing or non-striving. This term is perhaps a bit awkward because the Chinese way, W-E-I, to do, sounds rather like the English way. So to avoid unnecessary confusion in a confusing subject, I shall pronounce wu wei in the Japanese style. Mui. When Lao Tzu said that mui, doing nothing, was the secret of harmony with the Tao, he really meant it. But what he meant by it must be distinguished very carefully from two other courses which sound quite different from one another, though they are really the same. The first course I will call the way of deliberate imitation. This is to suppose that we actually know what the sane and natural way of living is, to embody it in laws and principles, techniques and ideals, and then try, by a deliberate effort of imitation, to follow them. Who hasn't done that before? You're like, oh wow, that looks really cool. I'm going to do exactly what they are doing. This leads, this is the suppose that we actually know, this leads to all the contradictions with which we are so familiar. The contradiction of man bawling himself out, as well as up, for not doing what he tells himself to do. You're imitating someone else, so you think you're telling yourself to do something that someone else is doing instead of what you should be doing. Son of a... You created your own trap again. God. The second, and seemingly opposed course, I will call the way of deliberate relaxation. The way of, to hell with it all. This is to try not to control yourself. To attempt to relax one's mind and let it think whatever it wants, man. To set out to accept one's self as it is without making any effort to change it. You can't change me, man. I yell a lot, man. I have a path I'm on. This leads to a vast, sloppy, disorganized mess, or to a kind of compulsive stillness, or sometimes to an equally compulsive psychological diarrhea. It says that in the words. I didn't say that. Both of these courses are far short of the real MUI of profound and radical non-doing. What brings them to the same thing is that in their different ways, the two courses had a result in mind. They consisted equally in something done or not done to get a goal. The goal in question was some sort of image, some mental picture, some vague feeling of an ideal, of a state of accord with the Tao, of harmony with the way of nature, right? Ooh, this is what it takes, man. Zen, right? Tao, when it becomes Tao. But it was precisely in relation to such notions and ideals that Lao Tzu said, get rid of knowledge. Eject wisdom, and the people will be benefited 100-fold. Ignorance is frickin' bliss, yo. He was talking about supposed knowledge of what the ideal way of life is. As I said at the beginning, there is simply no way of knowing what the Tao is. If we cannot possibly define the Tao, we certainly cannot define what it is to be in harmony with the Tao. We have simply no idea of what the goal ought to be. If, then, we act or refrain from action with a result in mind, that result is not the Tao. We can say then that MUI is not seeking for any result. Of course, this doesn't mean that a Taoist comes to the table without expecting dinner. You know, you walk into a house, you're almost done cooking the roast. The Taoist is going to be like, man, it'd be a lot of fun to have a roast dinner right now, wouldn't it? That's all he said. No expectation. He's like, man, I smell the roast in the air. It really would be a nice roast dinner, huh? You know what the rest of you would think? Is he trying to eat my dinner? I made this for me. I don't know if I made enough for him. Why are you talking about my dinner? The Taoist just smells stuff and is like, wow, I bet there's a good dinner happening. Of course, this doesn't mean that a Taoist comes to the table without expecting dinner, or gets on a bus to go nowhere special. I am talking of results in the moral and spiritual sphere, such things as goodness, peace of mind, sanity, happiness, personality, courage, and so forth. Well then, is it possible for me to stop seeking for these results? Sure. The very question implies that I still have a result in mind, even if this is the state of not seeking results. See, this is where he twists it around and gets you all like confused, and you're like, what? Quit trying to understand and just read the words, man. It seems, therefore, that I am helpless, that I am simply unable to think or act without some result in mind. It makes no difference whether I do or don't do. I am still compulsively, helplessly seeking a result. So I find myself in a teleological trap. I must purpose. I might also say, I am purpose. Teleological, that's a good word. Now, this is an immensely important discovery, for it means that I have found out that what my ego actually is, a result-seeking mechanism. Such a mechanism is rather a useful gadget when the results in question are things like food or shelter for the organism. You should go find food. You should go find somewhere to sleep. You should think. But when the results which the mechanism seeks are not external objects, but states of itself, such as happiness, the mechanism is all clutched up. What? It is trying to lift itself up by its own bootstraps. It's like Wall-E running around going, I wonder where my cuteness is. I have to go find the cuteness that I already am, Wall-E. It is working purposefully, as it must, but to no purpose. It is looking... Are we all Wall-E? Is that what I just realized? I don't. It is looking for results in terms of itself. It wants to get results from the process of looking for results. This is a hopelessly and wildly fouled up feedback mechanism. There is, however, just this one possibility. It can realize the whole round circuit of the trap in which it lies. It can see the entire futility and self-contradiction of its position, and it can see that it can do nothing whatsoever to get itself out of it. And this realization of, I can do nothing, is precisely Mui. One has mysteriously succeeded in doing nothing. Wait, so I can sit here? Mui. Wait, so I can lean back? Mui. Wait, so I can be quiet for a couple moments? Mui. At this moment, there is a sudden shift in the center of gravity of one's whole personality. You simply find yourself outside the trap, outside the result-seeking mechanism, which now appears as a sort of object which has purposes all to no purpose. You see yourself as a purpose-seeking creature, but realize that there is no purpose for the existence of such a creature. Who the hell are you to be you? In relation to everything except your own preservation, you are marvelously futile. Your aim is to preserve and perpetuate yourself. But in the larger context of the universe, there is no reason, no purpose for this aim. Formerly, this would have depressed you. Now, it doesn't bother you at all. For, as I said, the center of gravity has shifted, and you no longer find yourself identified with this absurd mechanism of purposeless purpose. In Lao Tzu's own words, the universe is everlasting. The reason that the universe is everlasting is that it does not live for itself. Therefore, it lasts. Therefore, the sage puts himself behind and finds himself in front, regards his person as outside himself, and his person is preserved. Is it not because he does not live for himself that he realizes himself? In other words, when the shift has taken place, when he finds himself outside of himself, Outside of the teleological trap, the trap unwinds. The result-seeking mechanism straightens out and no longer seeks itself or states of itself. But remember, all of this happens muy. Another good translation of which might be no dash how, as distinct from somehow. There is no way, no method, no technique which you or I can use to come into accord with the Tao, the way of nature, because every how, every method implies a goal. And we cannot make the Tao a goal any more than we can aim an arrow at itself. You can't. If we once get into the tangled state of the arrow, which is trying to shoot itself, the self trying to change itself, we can't do anything to stop it. So long as we think or feel that perhaps we can stop it, that there is some way, violent or subtle, difficult or easy, to make ourselves unselfish, the contradiction will continue to get worse. We have to see that there is no way. But in the state where we have realized that there is no way to be found, no result to be gained, the vicious circle breaks. Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail, has become conscious all the way around and knows at last that that tail is the other end of his head. You're eating your own butt, knock it off. We find ourselves in these circles because of ignorance. Jesus Christ in Australia. Because of unconsciousness of the nature of our minds. Jesus Christ in Australia. Of our thought processes of ourselves. Niframama. And the antidote to ignorance is not action, but knowledge. Not what to do, but what we know. Yet here again, the necessary knowledge does not seem on the surface to be anything very promising or hopeful. For the only knowledge in this sphere, which can be talked about, is negative knowledge. Knowledge of the trap, of our helpless imprisonment in useless seeking. Positive knowledge of the Tao, of God, of the eternal reality, is a matter of immediate, momentary experience. Now. Even now. One more now. Moments. What a weird little God that was. I realize that we do not like to be told that we are in a trap and that there is nothing we can do to get out. Still less do we like to realize it as a vivid experience. You didn't know you were trapped, but you are. Ah! You know what I mean? But there is no other way of release. A proverb says that man's extremity is God's opportunity. We cannot find release until we have known the real extremity of our situation and see that all striving for spiritual ideals is completely futile, since the very seeking thrusts them away. Yet, why should it surprise us? Hasn't it been said again and again that we must die to come to life? That heaven is always on the other side of the valley of the shadow of death, the valley of which physical death is merely a symbol, where the helpless corpse, bound hand and foot in its winding sheet, is just a figure of the death in which we live, so long as we mistake it for life. What the? I gotta read that again. Hold on. That was deep. Wow, hold on. Where the helpless corpse, bound hand and foot in its winding sheet is just a figure of the death in which we live, so long as we mistake it for life. Where do we go from here? We do not. We come to an end. But this is the end of the show. Woo! Alright. That was deep. Stuck in death, in so much that we still consider it living. Holy crap. You're so afraid of being alive that you're also afraid of being dead. Wow! Shut up, Alan! I didn't need that clearance in my head. Knock it off. Let's take a swig of the dew here. Let's get out of here, folks. Scroll me out. I'm gonna dibble dabble here. Scroll me out. Let's get out of here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Scroll out, dib dabble. Dib dab. Dib dabble. Dib dab. Give it. Let's get out of here. Knock it off, Alan. Getting all deep inside our heads. Let's get out of here. Right, nerdy? Come on, man. We gotta get out of here, carnivorous. We gotta go. We gotta get out of here. Tell you what, I'm gonna shut down this feed here. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll come back here later, soon. Let me shut this down. Thanks for being here, guys. And we'll hug it out. Actually, let's hug it out. Hold on. You're gonna get like 2 hugs. You're gonna get like 1 hug. Alright. Laura. Shh. Alright, I'm coming to you, okay? We're doing this for Mike Barabel over here. Alright, let's get hug it out. You got your left hand here, you got your right hand here, you got your left hand kind of right there, you got your right hand right there. And then it's 1, 2, 3 hug. Okay? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Hug. Oh, there it is. There. See, that's a good hug right there. It's a good starting hug. Remember, over here, if you give a hug, you can get that hug away. Now you have a hug. Now you can go give it away. Alright? Love you guys. I'll be back. Let's shut that down. Cut it out. Alright. Cut it out. That's dope. Nice job. Alright, let's... Thanks for being here. Thanks for scrolling me out. We still haven't dibble dabbled. I still need to dibble. We still need to dabble. Alright? I just have to make sure my phone... We'll see if it charges. It charges. You know how my OCD is, because we're down to 76, and now I gotta make sure it charges. So, let's dibble dabble while we do this, and I see Mike. Let's go to 3 level. Alright, 3 level, dibble dabble. Do a quick little dibble. Dabble. That's a good doable. That's a good doable. That's a good doable. Alright. Always do your best. Or just do. You don't have to do your best, HP. Not everybody has their best. Not everybody can afford to do their best. Not everybody's good enough at doing their best to do their best. But just do. And then, whatever happens after that, happens. So, that's how I think. That's what I think. Alright, phone is charging. It says it'll be charged in an hour. Alright, sorry about that. Just do. Have a good day. Okay, let's scroll out. We're already over time. Hold on. We're already over time. We're over time with this. Here we go. We're going to do a really quick, we're going to do auctioneer. We're going to do Skull Touch though. Alright. We've got, we're going to start with Mark Barabel. Oh, have a great day. Have a great day. You too, Mike Barabel. Clean, grow, feed the feed, right? Feed the feed. Carl Cromie, good luck for both feeds. Thank you. Thank you, Carl. Pacers, we get the kids here, got the kids here. They say thanks again for the Lego. I'm glad they got them, Pacers. We got Pacers. Who else had them? Cleany and Ava, and Niffer, and one of Niffer's, Ava's friends, and they were playing with them. It was beautiful. I love seeing it. Alright, we've got have a good night, JC from Bill D. Niffer, Mama, have a beautiful day. I'll be disappearing into my garden. I'll be stealing your flowers too, Niffer. I'm just letting you know. And Lord of Wayne, hold on, Lord, we're gonna get to you, I promise you. Alright, Jesus Christ, see you, Bill, mate. See you, Jesus Christ. Clean grow, little peace, and both grace people. Absolutely, Yusef. Man uses selfish, like bluish, just touching a taste of what is actually. I get it. It's like sometimes you want to know what it's like to be human. And it's a circus. It's a circus, alright? Whether I'm the pilot or the passenger, I was talking to Wallace about this. Whether I'm pilot or passenger, that's a hell of a circus. Alright, we've got Nerd Nature, Love You Much Fam, super fun doing an early use of your day. Absolutely. Carl Comey, good leg day for all of us. Absolutely. Hug days, hugs to all from Lord of Wine. She's getting ahead of me. Mushmouth, love you. Peace and peeps, love you too, Mushmouth, love you, my guy. Bill D, have a good day. Niffer Mama with the emotes. M23, what's the first thing you look for in a man? Human, like the HU, I guess. I don't know whether or not they're able to understand me. I guess. Mike Barabal, you two, the exception. Have a great day. Pacers, Cleany, Derek Anderson, thank you, rocking everyone for an awesome morning. I'll see you all tomorrow. Herbie Van Werby, okay, here now. Michael Patterson, Shanti Brocken Crew. We got Joe Diesel, love fam. Appreciate B-Roll Lobster. I love you too, Joe Diesel. Have a great day. Cancel, have a great day. You too, Herbie Van Werby. Good job, B. Wanted to make sure the other feed gets pushed to shorts as well. No, alright, we can't let it keep going too long. Alright, anyhow, the classic, have a great day. T-Crew, you two carnivorous, hands on the waist. We'll get to it, I promise. Clean Growth level 3, right? HR, bye everyone. Anthony T, good day to everyone. Mushmouth, my Barabal, Anthony T. We're just doing names now. We're just doing freaking names now. 5280. Jesus Christ, Mike Barabal, Herbie Van Werby, Mike Barabal, Jotties, HP, Herbie, Mushmouth, great show to you, Mushmouth. Herbie, Niffer Mama, Mike Barabal, Catzilla, my Jotties. We've got that. We're done. Alright, on the count of 3. On the count of 3, we've got our left hand here, we've got our right hand here, right? You got your left hand sort of where it's supposed to. You got your right hand holding on. And on the count of 3, we're going to hug Lord of Wine, and we're going to hug Mushmouth, and we're going to hug Gleany, and we're going to hug Niffer, and we're going to hug Mike Barable, and we're going to hug Bill D, and we're going to hug Nerdy, we're going to hug all the people that are here, exception. We're going to hug Speedy, I don't know Speedy's. We're going to hug Hager, we're going to hug each other. We're going to give each other hugs so that we can then have hugs to give other people throughout the day. It's going to be beautiful, alright? On the count of 3, alright? 1, 2, 3, hug it in. Oh, hug it in. Don't even hug it out. Hug it in. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I can feel it right there. Oh, see? That's like when your body wants to breathe on its own, but because you're too busy hugging, and it's like, wait a second, what's that pressure inside of me? Oh, that's your body attempting to be alive, despite the fact that someone's now pouring pressure to the outsides of your body and squeezing you until you can't breathe without making conscious effort. See? That's what hugging is. Hugging, it's just making sure that we remind each other that we have to breathe. Let go. Go home. Love you guys.